What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. This is the Neo Digital Podcast. I'm your homie, Jolly Dangerous, with my co-host.
Denonu YouTube. What's going on?
Yo, this is about the Pacific Rim Black. Is that what's called, right? Pacific
Mm-hmm.
Rim Black. My goodness, I remember we talked mad shit.
We
I talked
did.
mad shit about that show.
We
I
went
thought it,
in.
mm, I thought it was gonna be crappy. Um, Look here.
Yeah.
Denonu. When I say I watched the first episode, I was like, I went into this episode thinking this is gonna be garbage. I'm gonna watch
Mm-hmm.
this. Like, man, it ain't gonna be nothing. I'm not gonna care about it. I'm probably not even gonna finish it. And then
I
all of a
went
sudden that
into it.
episode,
Yeah, I went into it just expecting typical Japanese anime bullshit.
yup.
And yeah.
I went to that first episode, and then all of a sudden the second episode, then the third episode, then the fourth episode. And then a few hours later, I was like, wait a minute, why did it just jump to Star Trek? Wait. And I went back. I didn't watch the whole fucking thing at one time, one sitting,
Mm-hmm.
chilling. I'm sitting here chilling. Sometimes I play on my mobile phone, but then I'm still like it was hard for me to do anything else. I was watching this fucking show, dog.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go as far as say that this show was better than the second movie.
I would say that too. I like how it
Ooh.
had homages to the movies. Like it showed the Striker Eureka.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had like the one thing that I thought that they wouldn't do. I thought they were going to be treated like the second movie where the Jaegers were fast. It was like, no, they actually made them move slow in certain scenes. Like, I loved it.
Yeah, certain scenes, like there was one part that I didn't like about it is that they moved a little too fast for me.
Mm,
But I do. It's kind of difficult for me to judge it like that because the camera angle was always
mm,
above the Jaegers, so they were moving fast enough for that level.
yeah,
But in the Pacific, in the movies, you can tell they move slower because like the camera angle is like, oh, this giant thing. You can see it. You can see the how massive these things were compared to the buildings. In the cartoon, they made the buildings smaller, these bigger.
mm,
So you just felt like they were just moving at normal speed. The buildup was nice. The
yeah,
story was nice.
yeah,
They they didn't feel like they had character depth. I
yeah.
didn't think that they would have that, and
I
they
like
really
that.
did.
I like that. I forget what the Jaeger was called. What was it called? Something. I can't remember. I remember it was a training Jaeger. Didn't have no
Uh huh.
weapons. I want to say Strike Avenger or something like that. But I like the
Mm-hmm.
fact that even the Jaeger had a personality with the AI.
Dude, yes, and it was funny.
Yeah,
Like there was some comedy in it too,
yeah.
and the
Like,
violence was really good. Like they had blood in it.
mm-hmm.
This was really nice. It was really mature.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be not necessarily kiddie, but I wasn't expecting the story to be this decent. I thought it was just gonna be a generic, oh, here are these two main anime protagonists where they're gonna find a Jaeger, they're gonna go off and try to find their parents. And I guess that's exactly what happened. But
Mm-hmm.
then it's like they don't ever get to their parents, and some more other shit happens. And you just have to watch them deal with the situation. Like they brought in
Oh man.
the main guy that's above your head in the picture. I forget what his name is in the show, but the bad guy who ran the camp and
Yeah, that's it.
his badass military chick.
Yeah, man. They went with this like in directions that I didn't think they would, and they actually added more to the lore
Yeah.
of like Pacific Rim, which I really appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the whole solo piloting, I was like, they didn't do that in the movie, did they?
Yes, they
At
did.
all? They did.
They
With
did.
who?
The main character of Gypsy Danger. You know how you had the white guy. It was
Yeah.
him and his brother at first when it was the first scene in the movie when they were fighting in the ocean. His brother
Oh
got ripped out and
yeah.
he
His
piloted the
brother.
Jaeger to get
Yup.
back to the beach. But they
He sure
always
did.
but they always mention the fact that it's only one or two people ever did that. That if you do it, it will kill you. So I like that they kept that idea with
But
the
like they didn't
show.
talk about it. They didn't talk about how it works. Like
Well,
the
it's
whole
just
solo
it's
piloting.
the same process. What they said is that It's too much for the mind to handle. So that's why they needed two people.
No, but like in the movie, they showed him moving by itself, but they didn't say it was like ghost piloting or loading up
No,
a memory
no,
of
no. It
like
was just no. I'm gonna pilot this Jaeger myself.
yeah.
It wasn't. I'm glad that they brought in that ghost piloting thing though, because that guy that he ghost piloted with, that was the guy from the movie. The guy that was in the
What?
unit, the Striker Eureka. You know how it was like the father and the son.
Yeah.
The guy he ghost piloted with was the father, the one guy that was from the unit military show, the white guy.
Oh shoot.
Yeah,
That's dope. I did not know that.
yeah. That's why after he did that in the one episode, he was like, "Oh yeah," I was like, "Oh, I know those guys. They were from this, this, and this, and this, and this." They was like, "Nah, those were his memories, not yours."
Oh dang. They were talking about stuff from the movie.
Yeah. Well, when I stuff related to the movie, but let's say different training events that guy was at, because he was like, "Oh, I know these guys. That's so and so. I trained with these guys," but he was just thinking his memories were his own memories. Yeah.
I thought they was like mentioning stuff that happened in the movie though, but I didn't even recognize that dude from the show.
They made him look different, but the reason probably why it was him, because Striker Eureka was the Australian Jaeger, so they're in Australia, so that's probably why it was his last moment that they recorded.
Holy crap!
So that shows you what happened.
Adds even more to it.
Mm-hmm. And they didn't have to do any of that. That was the part that got me, because usually when Japan does something like this, I'm trying to think of another thing that they do, but they'll take like
from Japan
anime. I mean, I would assume so.
No,
I mean, it's
Netflix. They have their own like anime. They outsource anime stuff now.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, even if they outsource it, I mean, I'm assuming is there a Japanese team that does this, or is this like an American team that's doing an anime style?
I think either one, but like they have to give them a story though. It's like you can give the anime companies your story, and then they just follow along with whatever you want. And that's what it seems like that happened here.
Yeah, because usually, I mean, if it was, I mean, I don't have no idea. I'm trying to find out now. But if it is a Japanese production studio, yeah, I'm looking at all these directed names. The story was by Americans, but the people who made it are all Japanese people. So yeah, it's made by them. But but even if they're following the story that they made, a lot of the times, if I would say if Japanese people were doing the story, that's when you see all the different stereotypes that we was mentioning. Mm-hmm. So maybe by the fact that them not, or at least writing the story, then that could be the reason why and everything. Why it turned out to be a whole lot better.
I enjoyed the whole. So like when I first saw this, I just thought that they were just gonna be these badass little kids. They get into this thing. They are basically Pacific. They're Jaeger messiahs, whatever, and they're so good at what they do.
They're gonna be like the kids in Gundam. It's like, it's my first time in, and only kids can do it. But I'm so much better than the seasoned adult pilots.
Man, they got in there, and that one Jaeger Buster. What's I think it's called a Jaeger Buster. The
one that was chasing him the whole time.
Yes. What do you call this thing?
This guy on the right, like or on the left over here. That's
on the left. Yeah.
Yeah. I forget what they call them.
Monsters in the thing.
Kaiju.
Yeah, kaiju. Yeah. That one was specifically like the nickname was Jaeger Buster, but like she said what the actual name was. I was like, let me guess. They gonna just straight up kill this thing. Nope. Nope. They got their ass beat like
I like the fact that when he first got in and it was charging towards him, he was like arm all weapons. And he raised the arm and he fired it, and it had the CG missiles and stuff and blew up. He was like, yeah. He was like, that's what I would have been saying if we had any weapons.
I was like, that AI is such a dick to actually show that. Like, why would you take over the screen to show a simulation of what would happen? Like, come on, dog. And then like they duck down, the thing flies over the cliff, and then is it dead? Like, no, it'll be back. It's like, oh shit, this thing's coming back. Like they had to deal with one kaiju
Yeah.
For the entire series. It's like I love that they
Mm-hmm.
that they have to build up to what, like their skill.
Yeah.
And this thing was nowhere near as deadly as any of the other ones. Like nowhere near.
Yeah. It was just a basic kaiju, but the thing was, they were even less than that because they were in a training Jaeger. It didn't have no weapons.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't built to fight. It was what do they call it when you lower something? Not degrade, but it used to fight and then they decommissioned it to be a training one. So it didn't have no weapons. It didn't have shit, and the sister didn't even know how to fight because she skipped all the tutorials.
Yo,
I was like, what the fuck?
6 months of tutorials.
I was thinking like, yo, how you gonna get in this building size mech? That's a huge responsibility. Like, what if you step on somebody? What if you do something wrong and you could kill so many people? And you're just skipping everything, everything that she needed when she got in trouble. It's like, come on, man.
I love how Humble was like clapping the whole time, like the sergeant. Like
you've completed this.
Lesson 37. It's like, yo, honestly, I didn't understand like the whole skipping. Like, why would you skip everything?
Yeah.
I would have been happy to learn all that shit. But it took 6 months though. It's like, yeah, some things I probably would skip. Like
I'm glad that
signing waivers.
I'm glad that played into the story though, because then after that you saw what happened to the people they grew up with and stuff. And I don't want to spoil anything, but you saw that happen, and yeah, it was completely her fault.
It was her fault, man.
Because she was the person who found it. It made the noise that attracted the the kaiju and everything.
Idiot.
Yeah.
Such an idiot, bro. It's like, yeah, but one of my favorite parts was when they had left the Jaeger and they were going through the city to find the other one, and that thing showed up. And it started running towards the Jaeger, and the AI was like, figures. And it's just like, got tackled. I was like, yo, this thing has such a personality. I loved it, man. It's like it was an actual person inside of that thing.
Yeah. And they even make a mention of that later. I think when it was the nerdy guy who worked with the gang member guy, when he got in there, was like, oh, you got a AI, blah 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 blah. I was like, that's not standard. That's not supposed to do that.
Yeah, and they were talking shit about each other because that one used to be an actual combat one, but it was left behind and stripped of everything, and then set back as a training module. I was like, wow, that's messed up. But isn't like typical anime fashion that a training module is like the best thing ever?
Yeah.
You remember back in the day, Metabee or Metabots? Metabee was supposedly like this legendary Metabot, but to everyone else, it was the most common thing ever. It could actually like transform its like not his body, but like he can transform the way he like. You remember that coin that you put in the robot? So the robot wasn't special; it was the coin that was special. The coin could actually manipulate the robot, like the body of the robot.
So it transform and it could upgrade its program to
yes. Like other Metabots had these programs that was just specific. He could actually like take like if you defeat somebody, he can take their
okay, move. So it's like Mega Man. So he was a modular robot.
Exactly, yeah, exactly like Mega Man, yeah. But that Metabot was really fucking common, and it to me like it just that reminded me of that. It's like, oh, it's a training robot that gets upgrades as they go. Yeah, they have an arm now, but later on they may have a chest cannon or some shit like that.
Just to stay on that, because you brought it up. There was so many of those kind of Pokemon wannabe shows out there, right? And Digimon type wannabe shows. Why do I remember the main character's name? I think was Icky. I remember what he looks like. That Metabots was so Icky. Fucking memorable for some hair. Yeah. It's so fucking memorable for some weird fucking reason, because you would think that it wouldn't be, but I remember a lot about that show.
it's I think shows like that is like you have to put yourself, like as a kid, you put yourself in those moments
Mm.
of thinking like, man, if I had a fucking fighting robot, you know what I mean?
Mm.
Like next to me, it's just like Pokemon. Like I would look like as a kid, I would look at my black Labrador outside and be like, that's my Pokemon out there. Like I would be thinking about that,
Get
dog.
back in your Pokeball.
Get your ass back in the ball. But Metabots is the same thing. Like just because remember, like the first episode, he goes to the store
Mm.
and all the good Metabots are gone. And
Yeah,
he sees
gets the
this
old
rinky
junk
dink
busted one.
shitty ass bot, yeah, just sitting there. And he gets it and he finds this coin. I want to say in the river or in a, like he finds this coin out of nowhere. And then he puts it in there, and all of a sudden, like Metabee comes to life, and he has this weird ass personality, and he's not like any other Metabot out there, and he's super strong, and he just doesn't make sense how strong he is.
Mm.
It's like you remember shit like that.
Yeah. Like I could say Digimon, like it. I remember them going to the digital world. I remember the transformation, Sailor Moon transformations, Digivolutions, I think they called it.
Yeah. Oh
But
my
like,
goodness.
but outside of that, I remember they was fighting the demon dude. That's about it.
Main character was Tai.
Mm-hmm.
So the demon dude, I want to say that wasn't even the first season. That was like seasons later. Like the demon dude like came second. I forgot who the first villain was though. That's what I forget. Man, Leomon.
I remember like the digital monsters. I remember the kids, but
Yeah.
like the only thing I remembered, and it probably wasn't with the first season, but like I don't know why, but I always remembered, and it could be that furry side that I didn't say that I had, but like Renamon was sexy as shit.
Renamon, the cat?
The yellow one that the girl had. That was always super strong, whipping ass. Like I don't think
like
that
the
was
fox chick.
yeah
Big, yeah.
I don't think that was the first season though. I think it was
That
like
was like
season
season 3 or
2 or
season
something
4.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's when they had the man. What was it? It wasn't Agumon. Agumon was the yellow dinosaur. That's when the main character had that red dinosaur.
Mm.
Yeah, I wasn't really digging it. I like the original team better because my goodness, Angel Woman and Angel Man, like those motherfuckers were strong as shit.
Mm.
And, you know,
the blue wolf one,
bro. The whole time I'm thinking like, yo, how come these little plip plop motherfuckers, like, you know, the one with the wings on his head, how come he never digivolves into anything? He's never strong. And then all of a sudden at the end, he turns into a damn angel, and he has this like,
Angemon. Yep.
Oh my god, no wonder he's so strong.
Yeah, I like the first crew. Once it started getting to the other teams, and you know, I guess the follow ups to it and the sequels to it, that's when it's like when when the digital world became to the real world. I was just like, okay. Well,
I will say this: Digimon had an amazing world that they continued, because I've even watched the movies. They grew up, went to college.
Oh, okay.
Came back.
I ain't seen none
still
of
had
that.
their Digimon. Like their Digimon was in the digital world. They still met up with them, came back to fought some more evil villains as teenagers. You know what I mean?
That's what's up.
And then I want to say Digimon like movie 8 or 7 or 6 or something like, they were full blown adults. I think one of them had a kid. Motherfuckers still out there. Hey, digital demon shit comes up, boom, we gotta fight them. And not only that, but they was fight them alongside the other guys from the other team, with Renamon and all them other ones.
That's what's up.
The whole crew showed up, just like Power Rangers. Remember Power Rangers?
Mm-hmm.
They had all the different teams, and then every now and then you had that special where every single team would show up for this giant army of Rangers. Like, yeah, it was just like that. I was like, this is cool. Yeah, I'm getting those vibes again. I feel like this is kind of like similar to that. It's in that vein where it's like, I can't wait for them to expand on this universe. And they did it so well from a movie to this anime, and they're keeping it congruent, and it's just like it's all the same
That's
shit.
what I didn't think they were gonna do. Like I just figured they were just gonna tell their own story. And it's like, yeah, they did tell their own story with Pacific Rim Black, but it is like a sequel to the movies in its own little way. It's just showing you what happened. Like shit got worse. Whatever the black was, because I don't think they fully explained it, but they kind of sealed off Australia. Yeah, well, the black was the name of the mission that they enacted to kind of black out Australia. So that's why
Okay.
people aren't there and
Oh
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah,
that. So
yeah.
maybe like, because I don't think they explain why the rifts were in Australia, because the rifts were popping up more randomly. Usually the Pacific Rim. The reason why they name it that is that
Because the
volcano.
rifts only happen on the Pacific Rim line. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where that's because that's where the rift was. They always came from the same rift. It was just one.
From one.
Yeah. Yeah. It was only one rift that they would come out of. So in the anime, they were popping up seemingly random, but I was kind of hoping they would explain why that is, but maybe we'll get that with like a season 2 or something like that.
Kind of feel like they did explain that. So, well, not they didn't really explain it, but like I can kind of get this gist of like, oh, this is happening because of these characters.
Mm.
Like the one thing I kind of didn't like about it is the little twist that they added to it.
You mean with the little boy right there? You mean
Yeah, the
that?
little boy and that other kaiju that they found. It's like,
Oh,
I wouldn't know if that would actually fit in the movie. You
the
know what I
the
mean?
the bio one, whatever. Yeah,
Bio
I
kaiju,
liked
yeah.
how cool he was because that's right up my alley with things. But yeah, that's kind of weird. You would have
It's
to,
dope, but
yeah,
in terms of the lore of Pacific Rim in general, I don't see how that's an actual thing. Because the way they explained it, like coming about, it's like, I still don't really
yeah,
see how that could happen. And then the little kid, again,
typical
I don't
anime
feel like,
stereotype. Yeah,
yeah,
saw that
it
coming a
wouldn't
mile away.
fit. It wouldn't fit in the actual movie as like this is the next step
Yeah,
for kaiju and Pacific Rim. I
yeah,
do like how they talked about how the kaiju are um, intelligent.
mm-hmm.
I like that a lot. Like that fucking thing when it ignored the robot and
Mm.
went for them. I was like, oh, this motherfucker knows that they pilot this thing. Like that's smart. These things know what they're doing. They're not just like weird evil
Mm.
demon things that just come out of nowhere and just do random shit. Like they know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, and it's like I like how that all the characters, like everybody had their own story. Like with the
Mm-hmm.
main character, his thing was, well, with the I guess both of them is finding their parents, but his thing was like protecting the sister. The sister, by being protected all of her life, has been kind of she's bored in town.
Sheltered.
She wants to live, yeah, she wants to get out there, live a more exciting life. And then until that thing happens, and then that kind of tampers that. The military chick, she was completely messed up because of what the main bad guy did to her. And this kid who you is a complete mystery until the very ending where it's like, okay, well, I see what season 2 is going to be about.
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of lead into that, but it was like the only thing that I could say where it's like I wish they'd have changed it. I guess it feels complete because they beat the same kaiju that they first started to fight,
Mm-hmm.
but I wish they'd found something. Like it seemed like it was missing. Like they had one more episode to wrap stuff up with. Cause like I feel like nothing happened at the end. It was just like, oh, this kaiju's back. We gotta fight it, and then they beat it, and then it's like, but they don't do anything. They don't go any other where. Like if they'd let's say, found something the parents left, which they did. They found the little note or whatever.
They found a
But
picture.
yeah, they found the
Oh
picture
yeah,
and like
the
the audio
video.
video log or whatever,
Yeah.
and they were like, okay, we're gonna go here. Now, if at the end they walk there, and let's say that place was destroyed too, and it just felt like it was lacking some type of conclusion as far as that. Like I feel like they had like a 16 episode series that they just cut at eight or nine episodes, and they just didn't show you the rest of it.
I mean, honestly, the way they did it, it felt like to me, it felt like they did wrap it up.
Mm.
Like in terms of if you think that they would continue the series, then no, they didn't. But in terms of like wrapping up a actual season, I feel like they did because they took care of the kaiju, and then they found out this thing about the boy.
Mm.
Like I think that was like the actual like
Subplot,
subplot
yeah.
that's going on, and that's the one that you really have to like look into. So they look at this boy, how he fits with the other Jaeger kaiju thing, and it's one of those like it becomes a mystery. What is this? Who is he? Why is that? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So now you have something to go off of on the next episode or the start of the next series. But even if they just left this here, it's like, yep, this is
Yeah.
Pacific Rim the Black, and then the next series you put
Pacific
another
Rim the White.
character. Well, I mean another character, a set of characters with another
Mhm.
Jaeger somewhere
Oh,
else.
like if you want to pick it up with a different cast or something.
Hmm. And
Well,
then
what that's the
make them meet up at a whole nother season.
that's the one thing I was gonna say is like I don't feel like this. I don't feel like it's missing an ending, but it's like usually when you have those conclusion type moments, you know, it's like when the show is wrapping up, the
Mhm.
characters' plots will be like let's say like in Pokemon's case, you have a whole season, something happens at the end, and then Ash is like, "Oh, I'm gonna still continue my journey to be the best Pokemon master." It's like it didn't have that's what I mean when I say conclusion. It's like it
Yeah,
didn't kind of have anything that would make the characters be like, you know what, we gotta find our parents. It was just like they just showed you stuff related to the kid and the other people that they showed at the end, and that was
because it,
it.
it, it continues. Like,
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
why I
think
feel
that
like they
it's
just kind of
supposed to
cut
be
it.
wrapped up.
You know?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's why I feel like it's been cut in half, or they just are, they're not showing you the second part.
oh yeah, yeah.
It's like you have, like they made one big thing, but they're just like, okay, this is season one, this is season two, but it's like it's supposed to be one straight story,
Mm.
and that's
Hear me out.
okay.
Castlevania.
Mm-hmm.
This is what this reminded me of. It reminded me of Castlevania,
Mm-hmm.
like the way the story beats go. So you have these characters, and then you have all their different motivations, and it kind of shows you each character and what they're doing. And in Castlevania, they did the exact same thing, except for in Castlevania's part, they actually split the story into different sections and
Mm-hmm.
followed each and every individual character. But at the end of Castlevania, it didn't seem like it was wrapped up.
Yeah.
It stopped at this episode, and you think that there's supposed to be another episode after it, but that was the end of the season, and then the next one picks up right after,
Mm.
like right after that shit happened. And that's, I think that, like, I'm with you on that. That's how I
Mm.
got that feeling of like, wait, why did they jump to Star Trek?
Yeah.
It didn't feel like it was a wrap up of a season. It felt like I'm missing an episode. Like, where's the
Mm.
next episode after this? Because now I got this and this and this, and like it didn't feel like it left on a cliffhanger.
Yeah. It felt like a premature ending, but not like, oh, there's a cliffhanger. It just felt like, and I don't know, maybe that's just because we
Like
like
ending
it.
to an episode and not an
Yeah.
ending to a season.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Yeah,
But
yeah, it felt just like that.
still damn good. I thought I woun't like the Jaeger design. Like it kind of reminds me of like a Halo 5 Spartan with all those fucking colors. But I like the Jaeger. I forget what it was called. I want to say it was like Strike Avenger or something. Let me see. What was it called? Let me pull it on Wikipedia here. Cause like I could be wrong. Like, was it the Strike Avenger?
It's gonna be the next one.
Atlas Destroyer.
Atlas,
Atlas
Atlas
Destroyer.
Destroyer.
Yeah, that's what it was
Yeah.
called. But that's a cool name. I like it. In
Thinking about the
comparison to all the
name,
kaiju, all the Jaeger names.
I didn't even think about the name Atlas Destroyer. I was like, I mean, it's an okay name. And then I
Mm.
thought of, like, right now, I just thought about, oh wait, Atlas was the person that hold up the world.
Mm-hmm.
That's dope. Atlas Destroyer. Like, oh shit, yeah, I like that.
Yeah, like that's the thing with Pacific Rim. Like all of the Jaegers have to have really cool names. Like I remember other YouTube channels. I remember watching what's the guy's channel? The guy who does the fact theme videos. I
Mhm.
remember he did a video talking about the movies, and he was like, how like they should have like a UN meeting where everybody just announces the name of the Jaeger for their country
Oh
because
shit.
that's how cool the names is.
Yeah.
Like America's Gypsy Danger, and I forget he named one from like Brazil. I forget what was the one, but it was like the one that had like the coolest name. Um, something Intercept. Oh fuck, I forget what it is, but it was something Intercept, and it was like the coolest name. But they
Wait,
all
like
got
from
cool
an actual
names.
movie or like something that fictitious that he made up?
No, it wasn't something he made up. It was something that either a part of one of the designs that didn't make it into the movies, or one of the other artist renderings and stuff like that of like, the stuff that didn't make it into the movies. I want to say it was something like Kaiju Intercept or something like that. But they all got really cool names. That was the whole point. That's why it was named Gypsy Danger, Striker Eureka, even the Russian one for Chernobyl Alpha.
You talking about Cthulhu Spawn?
No.
Okay.
No, it was.
I see a bunch of like different renders that people are making, but it's all on Google.
Yeah, but they all got like really cool, names for Jaegers and stuff like that. So I thought, as soon as they said the name of the Jaeger in Pacific Rim Black, I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Alice the Shore sounds pretty cool. That sounds like it would fit in the universe.
Yeah.
But damn good. I wasn't expecting it to be as okay as it was. I was expecting it to be bland, but it was. Shoot, I binge watched it too. I was kind of upset when it was over. I was like, "What the fuck?" No, I was like, I want to watch more."
Super nice. I'm just sad that it came out this year because there's not another season that's gonna come out for a while.
Yep. Yeah. It sucks.
Damn, man.
But damn good. If you guys have Netflix and you want to check out something entertaining, Pacific Rim Black is okay.
Worth it.
Yeah, definitely pays homage to the movie stuff. So if you're a fan of the movies, you'll probably like it as well.
Man, I gotta say it's better than okay. If you think the first movie was great
and the second movie was garbage,
okay, yeah, this one's better than okay.
Yeah,
not great, but it's better than okay.
Yeah. I'll even say that I didn't like the second movie at all. I mean, I like the fact that John Boyega was in it. That's about it.
Yeah, I like that too. But the story, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The fighting, it was way too fast.
The drone Jaegers didn't like none of that shit.
Nope. Nah.
Yeah. But anyways, YouTube, that's our video talking about Pacific Rim Black. Check it out on Netflix. And if you guys know of anything else we could talk about from Netflix or any streaming platform, let us know down in the comments below, and we'll see if we can make it happen for you. Later.